And looking back on that experience, what do you say to yourself now? Because we all have done things in our lives and you say, I don't know what I was thinking, or I didn't know what I was thinking, or that was a great lesson for me. I don't know. What do you say to yourself?
Holy Mother of God.
In the glittering shadows of two music empires, a love story was born that shocked the world and destroyed two souls. She was the daughter of the king of rock and roll, carrying the weight of Elvis Presley's tragic legacy. He was the king of pop, the most famous and misunderstood man on earth. When Lisa Marie Presley met Michael Jackson, the spark was instant, electric, and dangerously intoxicating. She thought he was a freak at first. He thought she could save him. Within minutes of their first meeting, walls crumbled.
Okay, first of all, I heard he wanted to meet me when I was 18. I didn't want to because I thought he was a freak. Immediately, I didn't want to meet him. I thought he was a freak. So I was like, I don't want to meet him. And I ended up going, okay, I'll meet him. My first impression was that he went very much out of his way to disillusion me. So he sat me down and said, I know you think this, I know you think that, I know you... And he was completely normal. I'm not gay. I know you think this. I know you think that. And he started cursing. He started, being a normal person.
He cursed, he laughed. He showed her the real man behind the mask, and she fell hard. I fell in love with him, she later confessed. A whirlwind romance led to a secret marriage, a 10-carat diamond proposal by the fireplace, and nights that proved their union was very real, very passionate, and very complicated. But behind the fairy tale lay darkness. Vampires in human form, enablers, opportunists, and addiction, circled Michael like predators. Lisa watched the man she loved choose the very forces that would destroy him. She fought. She pleaded. She tried to pull him out of the ivory tower of fame and drugs that mirrored her own father's deadly path. It was the drugs and the vampires or me, she said. He pushed her away. This is not just a celebrity divorce story. This is a raw, heartbreaking saga of love, betrayal, addiction, and destiny. Two icons. One toxic bubble. A marriage that burned brighter than the spotlight, and left scars that never fully healed. Get ready, because this story is about to get intensely heated. Let's go back to the very beginning. Lisa Marie Presley was only 18 years old when she first heard that Michael Jackson wanted to meet her. She wasn't interested. In her own words, she thought he was a freak. The rumors, the eccentric image, the childlike persona, everything about him screamed danger to her. But something, perhaps curiosity or pressure, made her agree to the meeting anyway. What happened next changed her life forever. Michael, sensing her hesitation and the wall she had built, did something unexpected. Instead of playing the superstar card, he sat her down and deliberately tried to disillusion her. I know what you think of me, he told her. He started cursing, acting completely normal, stripping away the glossy image the world had of him. In that moment, Lisa saw something real. Within 20 minutes, her entire perception flipped. Oh my God, you're not the person I thought you were. You're actually really cool. There was an instant click. They started talking and immediately related to each other on a deep level. Both were born into extreme fame. Both lived in a fishbowl their entire lives. Both carried the heavy burden of being children of legends in their own right. Different upbringings, different worlds, yet the same kind of isolation and vulnerability. Lisa had already been married and had a baby by the time she was 21. She hadn't really lived much outside that protected bubble. Michael, on the other hand, was a global superstar who had never experienced normal life. He wasn't stupid. He didn't reach where he was by being foolish. When Michael Jackson decided to pull someone into his world, he had an almost supernatural ability to do it. He made Lisa feel special. He made her feel like she was the only one he could truly talk to. That sense of being chosen triggered something powerful in her, a protective instinct. She wanted to save him, to understand him, to stand beside him. What started as fascination quickly turned romantic. And it felt real. Very real. Before long, they were inseparable. When Michael was in town, he was at her house. The connection grew stronger every day. Then came the proposal that would make headlines around the world. They were sitting in the library in front of the fire. Michael pulled out a giant 10-carat diamond from his pocket, got down on his knees, and asked Lisa Marie to marry him. In that moment, it felt right. She saw it as a solution to her own struggles with fame. Marrying someone even bigger than her family legacy meant she could finally feel like a wife, a partner, not just Elvis's daughter. She wouldn't have to carry the pressure alone. She could support someone she admired and stand equally beside him. Of course, not everyone was happy. Her friends, her family, especially her mother Priscilla, were extremely skeptical. The timing was suspicious to many. Michael was in the middle of serious child sexual abuse allegations. People warned her. They questioned her judgment. But Lisa was young, in love, and determined to figure it out on her own. Her mother's reaction only made her more stubborn. The classic mother-daughter push made her dig her heels in deeper. Despite the outside noise, their early days together felt magical. Lisa has described how intoxicating Michael could be when he let someone in. When he was fully present, when he shared his true self, there was nothing like it. She felt protective of him. She loved taking care of him. For the first time in a long while, she felt she had a real purpose. Their marriage was not for show. It was consummated. It was physical. It was passionate. She has repeatedly confirmed that it was a real marriage between husband and wife in every sense. Romantic nights, deep conversations, shared vulnerabilities, it all happened. But even in the honeymoon phase, cracks were beginning to form. The enormous entourage around Michael, the constant attention, the pressure of living in the public eye, it was overwhelming. Lisa was not naturally comfortable with the spotlight the way Michael had grown used to it. She stood by him during public appearances, but inside she felt uncomfortable. Still, when things were good between them, she described it as one of the highest points of her entire life. They were a unit. They understood each other's strange world. They fought the outside forces together. Yet the outside forces were stronger than anyone imagined. The same machine that made Michael a superstar was slowly consuming him. And Lisa Marie Presley, daughter of the fallen king, could see the warning signs from a mile away. She had watched her father die the same kind of death, isolated by fame, enabled by those around him, destroyed by addiction. History was repeating itself right in front of her eyes. As their marriage deepened, so did the challenges. Michael's need for constant validation, the people who benefited from keeping him dependent, and the growing rumors about his habits all started weighing heavily on their relationship. Lisa tried to be the anchor. She tried to pull him toward reality. But the pull of that artificial world he had built was incredibly strong. This was only the beginning of a love story that would leave both of them forever changed. What started as a fairy tale was slowly turning into a nightmare neither of them could escape. As the marriage progressed, the cracks that were once small began widening into deep fissures. Lisa Marie quickly realized that being married to Michael Jackson meant living inside a storm that never stopped. The entourage, the so-called vampires, were always present. People who fed off his fame, his money, and his vulnerabilities. These were the same individuals who told him what he wanted to hear, who enabled his worst habits, and who saw Lisa as a threat to their control. She saw it clearly. These people were sucking the life out of him, just like the ones who had surrounded her father Elvis in his final years. The parallels were terrifying. Michael would confide in her late at night, sharing his deepest fears. He admitted he was scared of ending up like Elvis. He asked her questions about her father's addiction and isolation. In those quiet moments, Lisa felt they were truly united against the world. But the moment the sun rose, the machine took over again. Public life added another layer of pressure. When they appeared together at events like the MTV Awards, Lisa felt deeply uncomfortable. She was not built for that level of constant scrutiny. She loved Michael, but she hated the circus that came with him. Still, she stood by his side because she believed in him. She believed she could protect him. She believed their love was strong enough to overcome everything. Then there was the question of children. Michael desperately wanted them. He would tell Lisa that if she wasn't ready, Debbie Rowe would do it. This created huge arguments between them. Lisa had already been a young mother. She wanted stability before bringing more children into their chaotic world. The pressure mounted. The disagreements became more frequent and more painful. Drugs remained a shadow hanging over everything. Lisa has said she never directly saw Michael using heavy painkillers during their marriage, but she suspected something was wrong. There was an incident where he collapsed and was hospitalized. The reports were confusing: dehydration, exhaustion, a virus. Different stories every day. Lisa couldn't get a straight answer. Deep down, she knew the truth was darker. She had seen the signs in interviews later on. Michael would appear either too speedy or completely sedated. It wasn't the man she knew and loved. The marriage started to dwindle out of control. Small issues turned into major fights. Michael's need to maintain his image, the constant demands of his career, and the people constantly pulling him in different directions created immense strain. Lisa tried everything. She confronted him. She gave him ultimatums. She begged him to choose her over the destructive lifestyle. But the pull of the fantasy world he lived in was too strong. At one point, she reached her limit. The fighting became too ugly. The disappointment too deep. She filed for divorce. When she told him over the phone, it was not a clean break. Emotions were high. Words were said that couldn't be taken back. Michael didn't fight the divorce aggressively. Soon after, news broke that he was having a child with someone else. The timing devastated Lisa. It felt like confirmation that he had moved on quickly, choosing a different path instead of fighting for what they had. The separation broke her. Just days after the divorce was finalized, Lisa suffered severe chronic panic attacks. Her body completely shut down. She dealt with mono, Epstein-Barr virus, and other stress-related illnesses. Physically and mentally, she fell apart. It took her nearly 2 years to recover. The fairy tale had turned into a nightmare that nearly destroyed her health. Yet even after the divorce, their story wasn't over. For 4 more years, they kept getting back together and breaking up. They would talk for hours, rekindle the old feelings, and then the same problems would resurface. Lisa found herself trapped in an emotional cycle. She still loved him. She still believed he loved her as much as he was capable of loving anyone. But she also knew she couldn't keep sacrificing herself. Looking back, Lisa has reflected with a mixture of love and regret. She admired how hard Michael tried with her. He went further with her than he did with almost anyone else. He genuinely tried to make it work. But his demons, the addiction, the isolation, the godlike bubble he lived in, were too powerful. She saw the same pattern that killed her father repeating itself, and it terrified her. In 2005, during a long phone conversation, she warned him. She told him to hold it together, especially if things went to trial. She saw the path he was on. Michael asked if she still loved him. She said she was indifferent, a word that hurt him deeply. He cried. In that conversation, he also expressed his fear that someone would try to kill him to get control of his catalog and estate. The love they shared was real, but it was also tragic. Lisa Marie Presley entered the relationship wanting to be a supportive wife to a man she admired. She left it emotionally exhausted, physically broken, and spiritually drained. She had given everything she could, but some battles cannot be won when the person you love is fighting against himself. The world saw only the headlines, the strange marriage, the quick divorce, the bizarre public appearances. But behind closed doors was a deeply human story of 2 wounded souls who found each other in the chaos of fame, loved fiercely, and ultimately couldn't save one another from the very forces that made them icons. Years after the divorce, Lisa Marie continued to carry the weight of that relationship. In her most candid interviews, especially the powerful 2005 and 2010 conversations with Oprah Winfrey, she opened up like never before. She admitted that Michael had something incredibly intoxicating about him. When he was fully present and allowed her into his world, she felt a level of connection she had rarely experienced. Taking care of him gave her purpose. Being his safe place felt like the highest point of her life. Yet she also saw the danger. She watched the vampires, the enablers, the sycophants, the people profiting from his pain, slowly drain him. She fought them. She confronted Michael about the drugs. She warned him that he was heading down the same path that took her father's life. The luxury of creating their own reality, surrounding themselves only with people who agreed with them, mixed with addiction, created a deadly combination. Lisa knew this better than anyone. In one haunting conversation, Michael told her directly, "I'm afraid that I'm going to end up like him." He was talking about Elvis. The fear was real. The parallels were undeniable. Both men lived as gods in their own worlds, isolated by fame, enabled by those around them, and ultimately destroyed by substances that numbed the pain of that isolation. When Michael Jackson passed away in 2009, Lisa Marie was devastated. She wrote emotionally on MySpace about watching the exact same scenario play out that she had witnessed with her father in 1977. She felt overwhelmed with sadness, reflection, and confusion. She called it her biggest failure, not being able to save the man she loved from the same fate. The guilt, the grief, and the what-ifs consumed her for a long time. But through all the pain, Lisa maintained one important truth: their marriage was real. It was not a publicity stunt. It was consummated. They shared genuine love, laughter, arguments, and intimacy. She fell in love with the man behind the mask, and she believes he loved her as much as he was capable of loving anyone. That love, however flawed, was authentic. Looking back with years of distance, Lisa expressed both regret and admiration. She regretted not fully appreciating his efforts at the time. She wished she had understood his limitations better. Yet she also admired how hard he tried with her, harder than he did with almost anyone else. Their relationship left a permanent mark on her life. It stigmatized her in the public eye, turning her into Michael Jackson's ex-wife in many people's minds for years. Her journey after the marriage was one of healing. She focused on her music, her children, and rebuilding her own identity separate from the two larger-than-life men, her father and her ex-husband, who had defined so much of her existence. She spoke less and less about Michael over time, often saying she was tired of being associated only with that chapter. Yet whenever she did speak, her words carried the weight of someone who had lived through something profound. The story of Lisa Marie Presley and Michael Jackson remains one of the most fascinating and tragic love stories in modern pop culture history. Two people who understood the extreme pressures of fame like few others could. Two people who found solace in each other for a brief moment in time. Two people whose love was real, but whose demons proved stronger. Today, their story serves as a powerful reminder of the dark side of fame. It shows how isolation, addiction, and unchecked entourages can destroy even the brightest stars. It reveals the human cost behind the tabloid headlines. And it highlights the courage it takes to walk away from a love that, while beautiful, was ultimately unsustainable. If you've been moved by this story of love, loss, and the heavy price of fame, then hit that like button right now. Share this video with someone who needs to hear it. Turn on post notifications so you never miss future deep dives into these iconic and often heartbreaking stories. What do you think? Was their marriage a genuine love story or a tragic mistake? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single one. And if you want more raw, unfiltered stories like this from music history's most complicated relationships, subscribe and join the family. We go deeper than the headlines. Lisa Marie Presley walked through fire and emerged with scars but also with wisdom. Her words continue to echo long after both she and Michael have left this world. Their story is a cautionary tale wrapped in passion, a warning dressed as romance, and a reminder that even the biggest stars are ultimately just human beings searching for connection in a world that often refuses to let them be human. Thank you for watching this intense journey through one of pop culture's most talked about marriages. Until next time, stay curious, stay compassionate, and remember, behind every headline is a real human heart beating with hopes, fears, and dreams just like yours.